there it goes. Okay, take a ride over the surface of Pluto as seen by New Horizons. We're going to start off on polar terrains off on the equator and travel down as if you're traveling at about Mach 2 across the surface. You can see craters in the ice. You can see layers below the surface where the craters have excavated it. You see all those tracks, the linear tracks. Those may be dust devil tracks. Then off onto mountain ranges, big tall mountains with blocks that are as much as 30 to 50 miles across. And then you cross the shoreline onto Sputnik Planitia, this vast nitrogen glacier, where you can see all kinds of detail, even what may be dune fields on the surface. We're traveling for hundreds of miles in just a matter of about a minute. But I just love this video. That's what it might be like in the future for some explorer traveling in orbit around Pluto. Well, you remember that stamp? We canceled it. And you know what? We got so much press when we canceled that stamp. You see the words crossed out, not yet, as in explored now. We got so much press that it galled the U.S. Postal Service into issuing new stamps that say Pluto explored. And you can buy those. Well, I want to tell you, for those of us who worked on this project for so long, it was really emotional to carry out that flyby. This picture was taken by a New York City photographer named Michael Soluri, who was embedded in our team. And this is actually science team members in our science control room on the morning of the flyby at the moment they saw the very first high-resolution image of Pluto. Can you imagine if you worked on a project 26 years, from 1989 to 2015, which was the case for many of these people, and then you saw all of your dreams come true on one Tuesday in 2015. It was incredible for all of us. But it wasn't just us. Thousands of people showed up at our mission control for that flyby. Look at them. This is just a portion of the room. These are Americans and foreigners who came from across the country and across the world just to be there. We put out the word before New Horizons made the flyby of Pluto that, in case you're not watching, nothing like this has happened since 1989 when Voyager got to Neptune for the first time. And nothing like it is ever planned to happen again. This is the last train to Clarksville. It's the last first flyby. And people just loved it. For 15 years, I told my team, if we do our job right, we will make the cover of the New York Times the next morning, above the fold. And there it is, the very next morning, right after the flyby. Thank you very much. But it's better than that. And I'm getting towards the end, and I want to show you this. It's really special. This is two covers of the New York Times. On the left is that New York Times cover, it's the morning after our flyby, with that close-up of what we later learned was a giant ice volcano on Pluto's surface. And if you read the fine print, you see it says late edition, July 16th, 2015. And to the right of it is another New York Times cover that says late edition, same day, July 16th, 1965. 50 years ago, 50 years before our flyby of Pluto to the very day, this was the first flyby of Mars. In the lifetimes of some people in this room, all the planets have been explored, from the closest ones to the farthest, across all those presidential administrations, all those Congresses. NASA was supported to do this, and we made history. You may not know this. The United States, through NASA, was first to every planet in the solar system. And we provide all that data free of charge to everyone in the world who wants to log in and get it. In those 50 years, we made history, a kind of history that can never be repeated, because you can only open the solar system once. There's plenty more to do and a lot more exploring, and we will have people, and hopefully one day they will live across the solar system. But there's only a special generation or two that got to see all these points of light, these smudges seen from Earth in images, turned into real places, planets, before our very eyes. And it's your country that did it, the entire enterprise. Others came too, and the Russians and the Chinese now and the Europeans are doing great things in planetary science. But I think we should all be very proud that it's this country that stuck with it over 50 years and opened the solar system. After all, I mean, an enterprise like this is where Star Trek begins. It's pretty amazing. So I'm going to close with this image of Pluto. It's in true color. It's my favorite image of the entire flyby. Not just because it's pretty, and not just because we can write a paper about it, because it tells us some things about the haze particles in Pluto's atmosphere, but because it reminds me of those special images that astronauts made during the Apollo program of the Earth rising over the limb of the moon. That proved that they were really there, because you couldn't get that view unless you were there. This is Pluto backlit by the sun, an image made from the far side of Pluto. For all of us who worked on New Horizons, many of us since the late 80s, most of us since 2001, big long-term project, a big chunk of our careers. This is the image that says we did it, because you can only get this picture from the far side of Pluto. We really did it. And with that, well, I'll close. Thanks. Thank you.